17th, regular scheduled committee of the whole meeting to order, and ask the clerk to call the roll.
Councilmember Francis.
Here.
Councilmember Smiley.
Here.
Councilmember Marsh.
Here.
Councilmember Crabtree.
Here.
Councilmember Craig. Councilmember Martin.
Here.
Councilmember Wilcox.
Here.
Councilmember Meek.
Here.
Councilmember Lineberger. Councilmember Keel.
Here.
Councilmember Bell.
Here.
Councilmember Handy.
Present.
And we do have a quorum.
Thank you. Everybody, please stand for the pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. The September 19th regular meeting minutes were in your packet. Everybody's had a chance to look at them. We'll entertain a motion.
So moved. Second.
I got it. We'll go Don and Chuck, first and second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We're going to jump right down to administrative matters, and I'm going to call on none other than Tyler Young. Come up and give us a little rundown on what's going on with the Small Business Commission. And Tyler, I understand you're got to get to a ball game, so
Yeah,
we're going to get you right in here and get you going.
Got a 9-year-old baseball team waiting on me. Let me get this pulled up first too. Well, Melissa, did you lead me astray? Oh, there it is. There it is. All right. So the last time I think we came and presented to y'all, some of the things were up in the air. Since then, we kind of took a step back, kind of think about what we were here for and what we were kind of wanting to proceed with. Since then, we've added 2 board members, Carlos Duran and Russ Guffey. With the addition of them, we also solidified 3 boards within our 3 subcommittees within our board. We've got our finance committee, our education committee, and an advocacy committee. Going through the last few meetings and stuff, we have tried to narrow down kind of what was important within those committees, and some of the things that we've came up with. A lot of them are dealing with policy changes, incentives, and kind of changing some of the fees and stuff that we've got here with the cities and with the city. But so right now, we're looking at kind of changing the business license fee. Y'all have all got hopefully a copy of this, and it's also on the board right here on the TV to show them what the business license fee is for some cities here in Kentucky. Currently, if you can see, we are by far the highest. We're at $250. The next lowest is $100 at Lexington and in Ashland. So we're asking that be changed to be dropped down to at least $100 right now. But we haven't finalized all that yet, so that's kind of something we're wanting to go forward with, but we haven't finalized it to bring it forward to you. But it's just one of the things, many things we've been working on. We're exploring other incentives for business to utilize. We've got a little pilot program we're looking at. We've also got a 50-50 matching grant that we're looking to kind of piggyback off of what Holly's already doing with the CDS, but make it citywide, and then kind of transition then to like a low interest reimbursement loans, and for some of the small business to be able to access that also. But that's pretty much it. Y'all got any questions?
Go ahead, Chuck.
So, and I know you're relatively new in your role as head of small business. What kind of guidance did the mayor and all give you as to the direction? Are you all just working together to kind of come up with something and then come back? I know the last time we heard a lot of different things and all. I guess kind of what were you told?
Last time pertaining to what? The last meeting that we presented
No,
at?
no, this was before you.
Okay.
So what kind of guidance were you given on what direction you guys are going to take, or you all taking it on your own?
No, the mayor's been, the mayor and Troy both. Melissa's been very helpful, Holly. We've kind of brought in everybody and kind of brainstormed. Our meetings and stuff, I think maybe came to y'all about our attendance issue that we were having.
Yeah.
That kind of got shot. I don't know if it was necessarily understood what we were asking for, but we're kind of asking for an ability to be able to police ourselves so we could increase our attendance so we can have our full body there. But I think that was rejected.
Tyler, I'm not to cut you off. Is that an ongoing issue to attendance from your eyes as the chair? Or is it pockets? You know?
Yes. Yeah.
I know when that came to us, it was basically you missed 3, you're out. I mean, is there any, and I agree with I think what council said, you know, if you have somebody that's got something going on or something like that in their personal life, you know, sickness or whatever, is there any wiggle room on that?
Yeah.
Instead of going all or none?
Currently, yes. Well, our meetings now we had meetings that were special called meetings, and then our meetings that were established. I think, how would you say that, Doug? Our traditional, regular meetings. And so we didn't have any wiggle room the way it was written because our regular scheduled meetings that we had, you know, majority were usually there, but then the special called, we've got a lot of stuff we've got to work on. We need at least have a quorum to be able to do it. So we kind of fell in that a few times.
I mean, do you feel like that has solved itself, or is that something you still like for us to look
And
at?
that's something we might look at in the future, changing. And but hopefully y'all be more accepted next time we bring that to you.
Any other questions for Tyler?
I would just ask Tyler, thank you for what you're doing, but I was just wondering, our business license fee is $250. The highest next to that is $100. Did you all have a recommendation that you sent forth for us?
I mean, right now, like I said, we're kind of in the stages of finalizing, but to me, I would like to see where we give back the support to our local businesses. So that fee is given, I mean, an out-of-town company can come in and apply for that business fee too. I think for all of our locally Christian County residents and Hopkinsville residents, they ought to be able to access that lower fee and keep the fee high for the ones that are coming from out of town. But we're still in the stages of working for it. We're working on it, working with Melissa. I'm sure by next time we'll have something.
Well, I know I would be open to making a motion to pass that along to council if you just bring us, you know, some kind of guideline.
Yes, sir.
Be great.
Ms. Francis?
Thank you very much. I was wondering if Doug, I know you're focused. What is the process of changing that?
Of changing what?
The fee for,
That would be an ordinance amendment.
it'll be an ordinance? Okay.
Terry?
Are we going to get to the point where you could actually bring us some goals and strategies for what the committee's going to be about?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So I think here, like I said, we just added 2 board members. We've had one meeting where we didn't have a quorum. Kind of, you know, if you miss one solid meeting, you kind of stop dead in your tracks a little bit. But absolutely.
Don?
And I'd like to just say, you know, if there's a problem with, you know, attendance at a meeting and there's a board member that is, you know, really just out of step with the rest of the committee, there is a process in place to disposition the person. You know, I'm just wondering what the process would be to bring that up before. Is it council have to do it? Is the commission have to, the mayor has to do it? You know, I'm not sure who has that you know, that,
The mayor has the discretion to remove if there are 3 absences.
right, I got you. So,
What we'll do, guys, I will get with Ms. Kern
yeah,
and look at the absences. If they're staying consistent, we will remove them.
right,
We have one out that's having surgery, and surgery is one. The rest of them need being checked, they're pretty against
right.
the way we're doing things, so they can put meeting on special call meetings, start meeting all the time. That's what's supposed to make it easier.
Well,
And that's like us, we meet second and third, and the third Thursday, you know where we're gonna be at. The calendar has got the same thing, so Rob will check with Diane on the agenda road, and I'll get back to you on this.
yeah, sure. Well, I'm going to drop this, but I just wanted to say that, you know, we want to be sensitive to the fact that, you know, nobody likes having meetings that people don't show up to. So, I mean, that's, you know, let's be, you know, proactive about making sure we get productive people on the committee. So we're behind you. So,
And
Awesome.
Tyler, I'm gonna do I got one more for you. Actually, it's a two-parter and one has nothing to do with the other.
All right.
So back to the attendance thing, I like with the mayor having the discretion and everything, but to give the members something, have y'all thought about, because it didn't come forward, maybe something like a 70% vote, you know, something like that of the membership, if we added something like that to where the mayor has the discretion on the absences, but give a little bit of power back to the board to police itself, like you said. I mean, would that be something, you know, that would be better than saying you missed 3, you're out, because then y'all would have some discretion on how you vote. And then, you know, I'm just throwing that out. See what you think about that.
That'd be something to go back to our board and
Okay.
talk about, but.
And my
The idea of
second,
it sounds good though.
and my second one, this is a loaded question, and I think the two in front of me are gonna throw a Coke can at me when I bring this up. How big would, for small business in the downtown area, would, reviewing our second story initiative and getting serious about pushing forward on that, how big would that be to help out a lot of because a lot of our small businesses are located in downtown. And we do have a lot of places that, as we all know, could be renovated, but the cost is not, as you know as well as I do, it's quite the cost. What's your opinion on that?
Be tremendous. I mean,
Can you,
walk through.
you
I
say
mean, most of you've probably been to downtown Paducah. Paducah has done something similar. It'd be great. I mean, it could absolutely change the landscape of downtown. I mean, you start getting people living in the second stories. You start seeing businesses want to come down here. You've got people to frequent those businesses, and I think that would be absolutely tremendous. Coming from, you know, I'm probably seen as a little bias for that because I do have some downtown properties that we renovate, but we have a passion for that, and I have a passion for Hopkinsville, and I think that's something that would be just tremendous for it going forward.
thank you. Yes, sir.
I'd like to speak on that. Tyler's brought us some information to us for this, for the downtown. And I've been working, me and Troy have, and Holly's been working on it, how we can bring this together to position. Because we've talked about the amount of money, how many apartments per door or just per building and so on. We're looking at it per door, not just per building. And we're working on the money wise, and which me and you've talked a little bit too, Steve, is where we're going to get the money to pay for that. Me and you've been brainstorming on that some, to bring it to council once we finish getting all the regulations lined out for everybody on that.
You know I'm good for a loaded question every now and
I
then.
know you are.
Anybody else got anything for Tyler? Want to go Rough Park?
See y'all. Yeah,
Thank you, Tyler.
thank you.
Thank you, Tyler.
So now we are going to call on Chief Jason Newby for our quarterly police department report.
Good evening, everybody. All right, so in the last quarter, we made 619 arrests. That gives us 2,034 arrests for the year. 86 of those arrests were from traffic stops. That gives us 283 for the year for that. 227 criminal arrests. That puts us at 721 for the year. We've arrested 13 juveniles, which puts us at 56 juvenile arrests for the year. And we served 293 warrants, which puts us at a total of 1,008 warrants we have served so far this year. Collisions, we've worked an additional 256 this year. That puts us just under 800 for the year. Unfortunately, we did have another fatal. That puts us at 2 fatalities in Hopkinsville this year. Property damage other than vehicles, again, if somebody runs into a mailbox, a fence, a house, that's what that would fall under. We've had 208 of those. That puts us at 638 for the year. And 65 injury accidents. So we've had 242 injury accidents for the year. Citations, a little over 1,400. That puts us at over 4,000 for the year. 763 of those were traffic. That puts us at 1,842 for the year. 278 criminal citations, 816 for the year. And 44 juveniles have been cited, for a total of 169 for the year. We seized another $10,806 in this quarter. That puts us at $39,719. We seized an additional 35 guns. That puts us at 138 guns that we've taken off the streets of Hopkinsville for this year. We seized another 3.5 pounds of meth, which puts us at just under 7.5 pounds for the year. Fentanyl, another 6.8 ounces and another 143 pills. That puts us at, is it on your screen?
Yes.
Okay. Fentanyl, another 6.5 ounces and another 143 pills. That puts us just under 12 ounces and 457 pills for the year. And fentanyl is what's causing most of our overdoses. Marijuana, I know a lot of people don't really care about weed, but for now, it is still illegal, so we will still continue enforcing that law while it's part of it. This quarter, we seized about 95 pounds. So our evidence room, we currently have about 18,610 pieces of evidence in our evidence room. So we did have a part-time technician, Josh Turner. We've moved him up to a full-time status. And that is not going to be an additional cost for the city. And the way that we were able to do that, I had 3 administrative clerks in the front office. One of them recently retired. My staff assured me that we could handle the front with just 2. So instead of hiring an additional replacing that third admin position, we decided to move Mr. Turner from part-time to full-time to give them much help, much needed help down in the evidence room. School safety, we've been working with other agencies, the FBI, the state police. Last week, we had probably the largest active shooter drill that I've heard of. We worked with the fire department, the sheriff's office, county rescue, and the school board at Hopkinsville High School. And we did a mock training. We had people going inside shooting with blanks. The fire alarm was activated. So we're going to continue doing stuff like that to make sure that we're prepared. God forbid we actually have something happen. We're also trying to educate the parents. One of the big things, if we can get the parents to start monitoring their kids' social media, then they will start seeing the stuff that we're seeing. We're seeing juveniles waving guns on their social media accounts, posting threats towards other students. And a lot of these parents are getting caught off guard when we bring it to their attention. So we're asking that parents just simply monitor your kids' social media accounts, and maybe it'll help keep them out of trouble. We are investigating and prosecuting threats. We have made an arrest on some threats, worked with the FBI and the state police on that. So we will continue to do everything that we can to make sure that our schools are safe. Promise transparency. So when I took this position, I promised that that's what I would do, and that's what I'm going to continue to do. We will always be open and honest. Councilman Bill has asked me to address a YouTube video that recently came up about a headlight. Basically, the citizen posted a YouTube video about one of our officers that got out with them. The guy claimed that, it was daytime, but if you look on the video, you can see the street lights have come on. And even if it was a dim headlight, the officer made a legal stop. It was a justifiable stop. And it was the time of the day that headlights should have been activated. You could see in the video that the street lights were on. So obviously it's that time of the day. The citizen that posted it was extremely rude, cussing the officers, very hateful, very entitled. But our officers maintained professionalism, didn't even write them a citation. Just finally told them, just get your headlight fixed. That's all we're asking. But what that person didn't post was our same officers, when that subject's vehicle broke down in the middle of the road, they pushed that vehicle out of the road into safety. But he didn't post that on social media. And they normally never do. Our officers, we constantly get threatened with, I'm going to sue you. I'm going to file a complaint. I want to talk to your supervisor. And that's fine. We've got nothing to hide. But a lot of times what people forget is what our officers have been through. We have buried some of our officers that have been murdered protecting this community. We have had officers shot protecting this community. I myself have been forced to shoot somebody while I was protecting an officer with this department. And people often forget what our officers have been through and what they continue to go through. But my report to you tonight is this. We will not police this community with kid gloves. We will treat people like adults. We will treat them fair. We will treat them honest. We will do what is right. And we will do what is legal. But we will not back down. We will not be bullied by social media or anybody else or their threats to keep us from doing our job. We will do everything within our power and within the law to protect and serve this community, and we will not back down. Before we go any questions, I wanted to end on a good note. Today I submitted an application. The Kentucky Law Enforcement Council, they just started a new program. It's from military to law enforcement. So what that is we will try to recruit active duty military. And then if we choose to hire them, the military is going to allow them up to 180 days while they're still serving active duty to attend training. So what that means is if we hire them, we agree to hire them upon successful completion of the academy. So they go to the academy while they're still active duty, which means the military is paying their salary while they're in the academy. And the city doesn't have to foot that bill. And then when they graduate the academy, which is at the same time that they're being discharged from the military, then we get to hire them. Because typically the way it works right now is we hire somebody, there's a 6-month wait to get into the academy, and then they're in the academy for 6 months. So basically we're paying them a year's salary before we even get to use them. So doing this program, we will have fully certified officers ready to hit the road before the city has even spent the first dime on their salaries. So I submitted that application today, and we're also going to be able to use that for our dispatchers. So if we're accepted by KLEC, I will let you know, but that's going to save the city a lot of money. But I think it's going to be good for the veterans. It's going to be good for the city. Does anybody have any questions?
Questions for Chief Newby? Ms. Francis?
Good evening, Chief.
Good evening.
How are you?
I'm good.
Good, I'm glad.
Any other questions?
You only get one?
I love the quickie.
Yes,
the
ma'am.
quickie.
Go ahead. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I was just wondering, just for the citizens, Could you explain when there's um, the procedure of a pursuit when people are being pursued? Is that possible to be explained?
Yes, ma'am. So our pursuits, the way that we pursue in our policies for pursuit is mandated by state law. When we have a pursuit policy, we actually have to send it to the Kentucky Law Enforcement Council. They have to review it, and they have to, once they review it, they make sure that we're within the guidelines of the state. But basically, to sum up your question, what we do is we try to, whatever we're in pursuit of, or whatever reason we're in pursuit for, we try to make sure that the actions of the officers justify the pursuit, meaning what kind of crime did they commit and how erratic are they driving? Is it worth chasing them? If it's not, we terminate. If it is worth chasing them, we can do it safely, then we will continue. But the ultimate rule for our pursuits is due regard for public safety.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
I just brought that up for one, because I got several calls. I mean, I wasn't asking you to back down or nothing, but
No, sure.
I got several complaints about it, so I felt that was the best way and to put it out there in the public. And I felt it was the best way to put it out there in the public for you to discuss the
Absolutely.
situation.
And I'm glad you brought it up because it gave me the opportunity to address it. You all get bashed on social media, and we do too. Law enforcement and politics, we're used to being the punching bag for social media. But, we take it on the chin and we keep going. All I ask is just it's social media. Half the people on social media, they don't even use a real name. So, but I can always assure you, our officers will always do what is fair, what is illegal, and what the law allows us to do.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Anything else?
I mean, you speak on being fair, and I get it. But like I said, me myself got pulled over before, didn't do no traffic violation or nothing. And which I spoke with you on it before, but also about being fair and stuff. I still feel like I shouldn't have got pulled over if I didn't commit a traffic violation.
And what was the reason again? Was it something with the tag was expired on the car you're driving or something?
Now my niece license is expired because of her seizures. But like I didn't do nothing for my tags to even get ran, but I got pulled over for doing nothing. So I mean, we just talk about being fair.
Yeah.
And citizens, I feel, should be able to drive a registered vehicle without getting pulled over because somebody's license suspended.
Sure. So we have license readers, and sometimes we'll just drive through Walmart parking lot. We have the flock cameras, and it gives us information on. Sometimes it will automatically give us information. Hey, the registered owner of that vehicle has warrants. The registered owner of that vehicle has a suspended license. The registered owner, whatever. So if that information comes to our officers, then if we have a suspended driver or a wanted person that's registered and they're not sure who's driving the vehicle, it's safe to assume that the registered owner is the person driving that vehicle, which gives the officers probable cause to make that traffic stop. So a lot of times that may have been what the circumstances were. And I understand that sometimes nobody likes getting pulled over. I get that. But if you get pulled over and you're not arrested, the officer verifies that you're not the person they thought you were and they send you on the way, they're simply doing their job. That's all they're doing. They're not trying to harass. They're simply doing their job. That's how we get this fentanyl, all these guns off the streets. We get those by paying attention to minor details. What comes back on that registration? We got nearly 100 pounds of marijuana because somebody didn't come to a complete stop at a stop sign. So a lot of times they may stop you just to confirm either your identity because the registered owner is coming back as a wanted person, or just to tell you your headlight's not adequate, or you didn't stop at a stop sign with no intentions of writing you a ticket, but it allows them to interact with you. And a lot of times that's going to lead to something else, like hundreds of guns being taken off the streets of Hopkinsville for a simple traffic stop. And if you're not doing anything wrong, they send you on your way without a citation and just a thank you for your time. That's it.
And
What we're paid to do.
One more question. I didn't mean to
Sure.
interrupt you. One more question. When we started the flock commerce, when we initiated, that was with Sumner? Was that when we started it? And I think one of the questions that we had, you wasn't chief then, was, I'm not sure if it was Crabtree had asked about the use of how it was going to be used.
Mhm.
And they said that they're just going to be looking mostly for cars that's stolen or cars that were, I don't know, my memory might be a little off, but I think that they said they were using it for like cars that was being traveling through Hopkinsville and that was wanted or stolen,
Yes,
or
ma'am.
those are the reasons why they was wanting the flock camera, and we approved of it. So you're saying that it's going to be run on every number, everybody's license plate now?
No. The license plate readers that we have on some of our cruisers have that capability.
Uh-huh.
The way the flock cameras work is if we have a specific vehicle, it may be a make model if we don't have a tag, or if we do have a tag, we actually have to enter that information that we're looking for in the flock system. And then flock will alert us if they hit the information that has been flagged.
Uh-huh.
So no, ma'am, it's not just reading any and everybody. It's reading information that we've requested it to look for.
Okay.
Yes,
Thank
ma'am.
you.
Yes,
Thank you.
ma'am.
I just want to thank you and your officers for everything that you do, because it's a lot easier for citizens to look at the police department and make judgments because of social media, et cetera, until you really have a need, and then who you're going to call. So I personally want to thank you for what you're doing, and especially for being proactive with active shooters. So it's just not going to happen in a school, could happen at preschool, could happen in this city administration, anywhere. So thank you for getting ahead of the curve on that.
Well, I appreciate it. And I thank each and every one of you for the support that you've given this department. You really have been supportive. And you really do have a good police department. And I don't take credit for any of that. You have a really good police department, a lot of good officers. And this city is lucky to have the quality of officers that we have. And don't get me wrong, they're not all perfect. We have disciplined our officers. We have suspended some officers. We have fired some employees. We do hold our officers accountable. So don't get me wrong. I understand they're not perfect, and we do address issues that need to be addressed. So don't get me wrong. We're not going to look the other way.
Anything else for Chief Newby?
Thank you.
All right. Thank you all.
Chief. All right. I believe now we're going to call, nope, not going to call anybody. The business list was in the packet. Anybody got any questions on the business list? No. Nope. Now we're going to call on the one and only Matthew Handy in Ward 12 for his monthly agency council appointee report.
All
Looking
right,
forward
thank
to
you,
this.
sir. Thank you. So I'm on two boards. The first I'll talk about is the HRC. The 50th Annual Unity Breakfast will be Thursday. I'll start with HRC. The 50th Annual Unity Breakfast will be Thursday, October the 27th at 7:30 a.m. Dr. Raymond Burse is the keynote speaker, and we are happy to report that as of today, we are sold out. So we will have a packed house for the Unity Breakfast on the 27th. The second thing is the Kentucky Commission on Human Rights will be here in Hopkinsville on Friday, November the 22nd for their board meeting in the City Council chamber, so right here where we're sitting. Later that day, HRC is assisting in hosting the Kentucky Civil Rights Hall of Fame induction ceremony. An email has been sent to the mayor, Mr. Body, and all council members. So if you haven't yet received that email, let me know and I'll make sure that you do. The second board that I serve on is the Museums of Historic Hopkinsville Christian County. And on the 21st of September, we hosted our first, which will now be annual gala. And it was a huge success with an amazing turnout. The board thanks the city and officials for their contributions and also their support.
That's you. Good. You need to be an Amy Watson announced retirement. I think you need to go interview. You do such a good job. All right. Going to move down to item E now, which is Jenny Stewart Health. Just have a little something we want to go over on that. And this is for a lot of public consumption as much as anything. Jenny Stewart Medical Center CEO and their board chair were invited to our meeting tonight to discuss their possible sale to Deaconess. We acknowledged that we were aware that they were under a non-disclosure agreement, but would like to hear what information they were permitted to share. While the invitation was declined, a letter from their board chair was sent to the city. That letter is now available on the City of Hopkinsville website and social media pages. I invite anyone in the public to go on one of these sites and read the letter, as that will give you as much information as this body has received. Again, the Jenny Stewart Medical Board operates independently of the city, and any questions should be directed to that board. Our intent for the invitation was purely educational to the city council and the residents we represent. All right, we will move along now. There is no unfinished business, so we're going to jump into new business, and I see Mr. Maddox sitting in the back, I believe. Going to talk about the Rabbit's Nest incentive extension request. That's about, it says to call you up. Okay. I was under my notes said to call on Mr. Maddox. Rich, I'm sorry.
That's all right. I didn't realize, I came just in case.
Well, you came all this way. You may as well get a chance to sit at the podium.
You guys were probably afraid I was going to talk about nonpartisan elections or something like that.
I'm never scared of that one.
We just had, essentially, I sent a letter to Mayor Knight asking if he would ask you guys if you would extend the incentives that you had granted us, how many years ago? 2001. Basically, there's a expiration date on those, and we had asked for an extension one time before as we got into the project, and then basically I'm coming back again. I think most of y'all probably drive by the building down there and see what's going on, and hopefully when you see that, you understand why we're asking for another extension. I don't know that building was quite as far gone as the Phoenix, but it was darn close. And so we're doing our best to make sure that that you guys don't have to take action on it, and that it doesn't go the same way that the Phoenix went. And I can guarantee you that unless something comes along in the next probably 2 or 3 weeks from a storm standpoint, that it won't go that direction. Right now, the roof is off. If you walk by and look up through there, you'll see sky. It's the last phase. We've replaced every floor in there. Basically, there's a steel building inside that building, and the brick outer structure is attached now to that steel building. The roof's the last part of that, and then the whole thing will be attached. So right now we're white knuckling it about like we were when we first started it, because these old buildings are like boxes. The way that they're built, you take one wall out and it's like a cardboard box. Everything else can go. And so while the roof doesn't really provide a whole lot of structure to it and everything, there is a little bit that's there, and it kind of keeps this from happening a little. And so right now, that third floor, because it was added about, we think, 15, 20 years after the first floor and a half were built, which would have been in 1894 is when the third floor was added. We've got our fingers crossed that Mother Nature doesn't do anything to us this next 3 weeks. We should have a roof on it in 3 weeks. It will become a much more standard build out once we get the roof on it, and things will start to move normally from then on out. So hopefully, I don't anticipate being back here again to ask you for another extension. But hopefully you guys will start to see a new front on it within the next 8 months. Brand new front on the building at the ground level, street level and everything. And you will start to notice that within 8 to 12 months, somebody's moved in on the 3rd floor, and it won't be long before the 2nd floor has residents in it. So that's where
Any
we're at.
questions for Rich on this? Basically, what we're looking for is just a motion to forward the extension to council.
I'll make that motion, and thank you, Mr. Maddox, for everything you're doing to help keep the city
You bet-
together.
you bet.
and be
Oh,
back.
it's-
Thank you.
it's,
Doug on the motion.
Second.
Don on the second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? There's
Appreciate it.
somebody that does a lot of work on old buildings, man.
I've
Every
seen you
time
down there.
every
Yeah.
time I drive by, man, I'm just like, glad
It's,
that ain't mine.
We're white knuckling, we're white knuckling it right now and
Well,
everything, but
You're doing a great job down there. I'm
Shout-
sorry you've ran into the issues, and I know it's no fun.
it's what you get with an old building, right? So I do want to give Holly a shout out for the help she's given us and everything downtown and everything. So appreciate it.
All right, thank you, Rich. All right, that is done. Real quick, item 7B, it was discussed this afternoon. We are going to need to remove that for now. Just quick note to tell you why. After multiple questions and conversations with city leadership, to include some city council members over the past few days, this item is being removed from the agenda. While the chair acknowledges and agrees with the need for this holiday to be recognized, more information is going to be required concerning the KRS and state holiday schedules, as well as further information on the impact to city employees' current holiday schedule. So when we get that information, it will be brought back around.
Do you need a motion to remove
I
item
do
B?
not.
No.
It has been removed by the chair. So any other business? I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
I got Terry, Don, all in favor of going home, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? I'd be surprised. We are adjourned.